Okay, so tonight we're talking about all of the hidden gems of the essential oil world. I'm really excited. I'm doing this class two different places. We're on Instagram as well as on Zoom with a PowerPoint presentation. So if you want that PowerPoint presentation and see that, please let me know and I can get that presentation to you with the recording, so you can see the slides and get the information about that. So today we're really talking about some of the essential oils that maybe we don't use every day, right? You have your top 10 or your top 12 that everybody uses on a consistent basis. They're kind of your go-tos, you know all about them. But then there's those oils that, like they're just, you don't really know how to use them, or you don't even know that those were essential oils. And so that's what we're going to kind of talk about tonight, is those hidden gems of the essential oil world, okay? So our first one is Arbor Vitae. Now, Arbor Vitae only comes in a small 5 milliliter bottle. And I will tell you, when I first smelled it at convention a few years ago, I didn't really like the scent. It smelled like gasoline to me. It was just a really interesting smell. But I will tell you, I have grown to really, really enjoy and love this oil. There's so many good things about it. So it has significant purifying properties, and it has a really warm, earthy aroma. It acts as a natural wood preservative and insect repellent. So that's what I use it a lot for. Before TerraShield, which was our insect repellent spray, was reformulated, I actually added Arbor Vitae to it. I don't have to do that anymore. So it acts as really good in that area. So what you can do is you can, if you're going to be out in the grass or at a field, you can apply a few drops to the ankles, and that really helps protect you. It holds powerful cleansing and purifying properties. It can help protect against seasonal environmental threats, and it promotes calming and peaceful feelings. It's very grounding. It's a wood oil, right? It comes from the bark of the Arbor Vitae tree. And let me tell you about these Arbor Vitae trees. They are pretty powerful. This oil comes from Canada. And these trees live for a long time. They can live for over 800 years. And it means the tree of life. So they're very, very tall. Even when these trees fall over and they're uprooted, they actually stay alive, even though their roots aren't in the ground. So we can harness what that oil is helping that tree to do and help that in our own bodies. Also really good for yeast and fungus issues. If the body is dealing with that, the oils can really come in and support the body by just applying this on the bottoms of the feet or on the area of concern. So I use this oftentimes on babies. Really, really great oil to use for children. Very, very gentle. Let's see, background. There we go. So it's definitely one that I've used on my daughter for immune support, and on my children, especially when they're babies. So I put this in my immune roller. So like the oils we normally use, like On Guard and Melaleuca and lemon and frankincense, I add Arbor Vitae to it as well. My daughter was having, when she was an infant, some little bit of a skin issue on her back, and I actually started using that combination of just lemon and Arbor Vitae and Melaleuca on the bottoms of her feet, and it really, really helped just kind of clear out what was going on in her body and support her body to fight off the fungus issue. Like I said, immune support, respiratory support as well. You don't think of that from a wood oil, but David, my husband, was dealing with a respiratory issue one night, and he was just really struggling. And I was racking my brain trying to think of what oil, because I tried them all, that would help him. And I just happened to remember Dr. Hill talking about Arbor Vitae being really good for respiratory support. So I went and grabbed it and I rubbed it all over his back and his chest. And he got so much relief from that. And so that was, that's kind of a go-to for us now. You can also use this as sunscreen. You can use it with lavender and helichrysum. And I suggest putting this in a coconut oil base, and you can use it as sunscreen. Now, this is not going to be like one of those sunscreens where you put it on and you go out and you sweat a bunch and you're out all day after one application. This is just for very light sun exposure, but it can be used for that. Obviously, it's really good for meditation because it's the wood oil. It's very, very grounding and rooting for you. I love using it in my wood polish. In fact, that's how I dust and polish my wood in my home, and I combine it with olive oil and lemon oil and in a spray bottle, and my wood looks fabulous. I actually really enjoy polishing it because it smells really, really good. Now, you can spray this on other surfaces as well. It doesn't have to just be wood around your home, just for the great benefit that it can give. Then we have, let's see, there we go, black pepper. Now, black pepper has a very similar chemistry to Melissa oil. Now, I think a lot of us know Melissa oil is lemon balm, and it has amazingly powerful properties. Well, interestingly enough, so does black pepper. While it holds significant internal benefits for the body, black pepper essential oil can also be used in the kitchen for cooking to add sharpness and spice to your favorite foods. Just in any recipe that you would use black pepper in, you can use the essential oil. Internal benefits are going to be like antioxidant support, aids in digestion, supports healthy circulation, can help soothe anxious feelings, and enhances, like I said, the flavor of foods. Really good in meat dishes, salads, soups, things like that. Now, when you're using it in cooking, when you're using any essential oil in cooking, you're going to get a toothpick out, okay? And you're going to dip the toothpick in the bottle of essential oil, and then you'll swirl it around in your recipe because essential oils are really, really powerful, and you could actually ruin your recipe, and I have done that before. So I really recommend starting out slow, and then you can always add more, but you can't take the oil out. So be mindful of that. So one of the greatest advantages of black pepper is the internal benefits it holds for the body. Black pepper oil contains a high amount of chemical components that are known for the antioxidant activity, which makes the oil useful for warding off environmental and seasonal threats. So black pepper is in On Guard Plus, which is one of our just heavy hitters for the immune system. It is a soft gel that you can take. And so I actually didn't know this about black pepper before the On Guard Plus came out. And when it did, oh my gosh, I was so excited. So now black pepper is another one that I've added to our immune roller when I'm wanting to roll that on our feet. Some of my little kids can't take soft gels yet. And I want them to have the same benefit of taking the soft gel, but just rubbing it on the bottoms of their feet. Let's see. So in addition to the significant benefit that black pepper holds for the body, the scent can also help to soothe anxious feelings. This is so true. You know, when you smell black pepper and initially, it's very spicy, but if you sit with it for a little while and you just hold that bottle under your nose, it really can have an effect on you emotionally. When you feel anxious, you just place a few drops of black pepper. You can put it in a diffuser. You can put it with a few other essential oils. So it is just a really, 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 really great one. Also helps with the respiratory system and assists in lymphatic drainage. Okay, so that's kind of an important thing. It really helps it assists the lymphatic system in just helping it to drain. Another side note is it can also help you quit smoking. It's so true. Just put a drop under your tongue, when you're starting to really kind of get a little antsy, you're needing a little kick. You can just, I have some people put it on their thumb and just put their thumb in their mouth. Even just the smell of it can help. Putting a drop under the tongue can help. All those things. It just kind of staves out. It's that spiciness in the black pepper oil that really helps with that. So that's just a fun little aside. Next is clary sage. Now, clary sage is definitely not one that I use all the time. However, now that I've researched about it, I should be using it every day. Excuse me. It is very woody. and has a very really herbally scent. It can be used for your hair and your skin, and it's very, very, very calming for you. So it provides calming and soothing support for the skin, promotes healthy looking hair and scalp health too, and is very, very relaxing and really helps, especially at night when you need that, when you just can't go to sleep or you can't stay asleep, really helps the body to be relaxed. The Latin meaning for clary sage is actually clear eyes, and medieval monks favored it for eye troubles. Okay, so historically, that's kind of what it was used for. But it's really, really known for its calming properties. And it is the most soothing and relaxing balancing oil that doTERRA actually offers, okay? The smell can be a little overpowering, and so I really enjoy mixing it with some of the other oils to kind of help with that. But it's excellent, excellent for the skin. And it really does promote that restful environment for sleep when you want to put it in your diffuser at night. And I love that it helps with healthy hair because I'm always looking for oils. I have another story about another oil that I've actually been putting in my shampoo, and I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. Everyone needs to do it. But now I'm going to try clary sage too. So you can put just a few drops in some fractionated coconut oil, and you can apply it to your face, for your skin, to areas of concern. It is also one of those that is really great for nursing moms to help bring in their milk supply. It's definitely one that nursing moms will want to use. You can also use it for just breast health in general. It's also wonderful for helping to balance out and support proper hormonal levels for women. Okay, so think about the estrogen in your body, and helping to balance out all of that estrogen is really helpful. Also supports uterine and prostate health. Great for those PMS feelings that we can get as ladies. Or here's another tip, those overheated flashes that sometimes we can get. Here's a great tip. Take some clary sage and then take some peppermint and put them in a spray bottle together with some water, and then store that in the refrigerator. And then when you get overheated, you're usually in the kitchen, right? You get your spray bottle out, shake it up, and then you can spritz yourself down. It's very, very cooling. Also working on calming down those hormones that might be affecting you. So it is a definitely great one to use for that. So next up, we're talking about cypress. Now, I actually do use cypress a bit because it helps us with certain issues. So it's very invigorating, fresh, promotes energy and vitality, and it holds a wide variety of aromatic and topical uses. This is not one for internal use, okay? So you were gonna think about this for topical or aromatic. So it's also good for skin. I would say most essential oils are going to be really good for the skin, okay? So it can help improve the appearance of oily skin in particular, okay? Provides energizing boost when diffused or applied topically. And it really has a grounding effect on the emotions while simultaneously invigorating the senses. So I want to talk about the emotions attached to cypress oil for a second. Cypress oil really helps you to unleash some rooted emotions. Okay, so when you're smelling cypress and when you're diffusing cypress and you've got something really heavy going on in your life, it's one of those oils that's really going to help expose that and help you to be able to deal with it. It doesn't take anything away. Essential oils can't do that. But what it can do is help those emotions come up so that you can deal with them in the appropriate way, right? So really good for oily skin. The natural chemical components of cypress oil can help improve the appearance of oily complexion, has a really distinct aroma that promotes energy and vitality. Okay, so that's where you would breathe it in from the bottle, diffuse it. It pairs really well with other refreshing essential oils like think lemon and grapefruit, bergamot, lime, and lavender. Boy, that would be an amazing combination in a diffuser. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. You can also take advantage of the invigorating and energizing benefits by applying it topically. So you can apply cypress to the feet and the legs before you work out, or to the chest to promote energy. Cypress is a circulation oil, right? So it's a great one to apply when you're needing to increase circulation somewhere, okay? So the chemical makeup of cypress makes it grounding yet stimulating for the emotions, like I said before. So it's great, like I said, for the circulation. It's great, it supports the urinary system, okay? I have used this with my children for bedwetting, actually, because think of that circulation. Think of all the things that cypress can do for you, and you can just apply it to the abdomen, and it can really help in that area, supporting the urinary system. It's very supportive for veins. Again, we're working with the circulation. It's good for spastic coughs, helping to calm it down. It's one of those oils that I always put in my blends I make for people that have coughs or my children. It's definitely one I always add. But it's also really supportive for the ovaries, the pancreas, and as well as prostate health. It's really just supportive for those things, okay? Also, think of the liver. It really helps with the liver and the gallbladder in supporting those to be functioning well as well. Got a little more backup noise here. Let me check on that. Okay. If you aren't muted, if you would just mute yourself so we don't catch any background noise, that would be awesome. Thank you guys so much. Anyway, so support for the liver, also really support for heavier menstrual cycles. So if that's you, if you have maybe kind of a heavier menstrual cycle, then that can be something that can really help you, okay? Then we have our fennel, which is, whoops, go back. There we go, which is a great oil, but it's also one of those kind of, you have to kind of get used to the smell. It smells like licorice, right? So fennel essential oil has very unique aroma. It's known for its internal benefits, particularly its ability to promote healthy digestion. So we know this. Oftentimes at restaurants, you'll like chew on fennel seeds after your meal because that helps promote digestion in the body, okay? It can help promote, it's very beneficial also internally for circulation, liver function, metabolism, and the respiratory system, and can be used internally to help fight off cravings for sweets, which could also be why you would chew it after dinner, right? To kind of stave off that, you're done eating, right? So some of the things you can also, if you don't like the flavor of fennel, you don't want to just drop it in your water and take it, you can always just put it in a veggie capsule. It's really probably the easiest way to take that anyways. So you can also use fennel in cooking if you wanted to. Again, a little goes a long way. So especially with this one, because it's so strong. So I wouldn't just put a bunch of oil or drops in there. I would just really start small, right? Start small with that. This oil can also really help with feelings of nausea, okay? If that's you, fennel is indigestin, which I know many of us use and know, but the oil itself, fennel, can be used for nausea as well. Maybe you're not a fan of ginger, because ginger is usually what we use, then I would definitely try using fennel. Fennel also supports the menstrual cycle, and I have actually a story surrounding this where I was having some problems with my body and my hormone levels, and I was actually using fennel topically for my digestion, and it really helped support my menstrual cycle. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And I realized that actually it was the fennel I had been using that was really helping to support my body. It is also helpful to support women going through menopause. So that could be one, just to help the body go through that. It boosts low milk supply for nursing mothers. So that's definitely one that I have used in the past. I nursed 4 children for a year or more, each one of them. And so that's definitely one I used. I applied it topically. I also took it internally. I felt comfortable enough to do that. So I did that for myself. But also, occasionally how you'll go through, if you're traveling, or different times of the month, your body goes through different things and you retain a little bit of water, right? This can be really helpful. You can use fennel and grapefruit together to give yourself a little massage, or just take the two in a capsule, and it really helps the body if it has been retaining water. And of course, it's very good for anyone with a sluggish bowel, right? You can take that internally with some lemon, and it really helps the body with that. All right, helichrysum. Helichrysum comes from this beautiful little yellow flower. It's really, really pretty. It's also known as liquid stitch, okay? So sometimes it has been referred to for that, because it can be very, very supportive when you have something angry happening on your skin, right? So it's from the little golden flower, and this little flower is often referred to as the everlasting flower or the immortal flower, okay, because it holds rejuvenating and restorative benefits for the skin. Now, helichrysum is often used in anti-aging products because of its ability to promote a youthful complexion. So think skin. Think for anything helichrysum, think skin. One of the best essential oils for the skin, helichrysum is a wonderful addition to any skincare routine because it has so many purposes. So it's great if you have blemish skin, right? Blemish-prone skin. You can put a drop in your lotion. If you have really sensitive skin, I recommend doing a little bit of fractionated coconut oil with your lotion, and then putting the drop of helichrysum in there, and then applying it, because it can be, if you have sensitive skin, you just want to make sure that you're diluting correctly. Those anti-aging efforts and helps to really reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. It is just a go-to. Helichrysum is also in one of our other products called Correct X, and Correct X is a fantastic product. Very, very healing, very supportive for boo-boos and different things, but I've actually been using it on my face, and I have been loving doing that. And I did it really because helichrysum was in that. But it also gives a really soft and soothing sensation. So you can use it after you've been exposed to the sun too much. Now, I was outside a lot today because it was so beautiful, and I'm actually a little bit red. And so I thought, wow, I'm going to try the helichrysum on my skin tonight and see how it feels. I usually use peppermint and lavender and frankincense, so I might just add some helichrysum to that tonight to see how that helps. Now, along the lines of going back to talking about the skin and helichrysum, it's really helpful if you've got any kind of stretch marks. And I really recommend helichrysum and myrrh together for this, and you can apply that to the body. It's helpful with actually dealing with a nosebleed. You can rub it on the bridge of the nose, and it can be really helpful at just helping the body work through that issue. Supportive for boo-boos, any kind of scrapes, anything like that. Also, occasional ear aches. Remember, we never put oils inside of the ear, but you can rub them around the ear. And so what I would do is just put a little helichrysum on your finger and just rub it on the back of the ear and on the front of the ear. Very helpful. And this is another one that's really helpful for helping to cleanse the liver and support the health of the liver. Okay? All right, next we have juniper berry. I love juniper berry, and I always wonder why I don't use it more when I do grab it, because I really do enjoy it. What I didn't know is that it's also used for making gin. So I thought that was a very interesting tidbit. It's a very versatile essential oil. It smells woody, clean, it's kind of spicy, it's very calming and grounding, has cleansing properties, and also has internal benefits for the body. So this is one you can take internally. But it's very good for skin. It actually acts as a natural toner for the skin, and it helps to reduce the appearance of blemishes. And it also acts as a natural cleansing and detoxifying agent and supports healthy kidney and urinary tract function. So this is one, maybe this is one that we've used sometimes when we have been potty training children, because sometimes they hold it or they don't go or they get confused. And when you are dealing with that, sometimes that can cause problems. And so we usually just make a little roller bottle of juniper berry and lemon and just kind of rub it on their lower abdomen to help them with that. Also very calming, grounding effect that can help with lessening stress, okay? So you can also put juniper berry in a bentonite clay mask. That is really, really great for the skin. Love it, love it. It also blends really well with sandalwood, lavender, melaleuca, and clary sage. And I actually have been diffusing it with petitgrain, ylang ylang, wild orange, and juniper berry together at night, and I've been loving that combination too. Then we have lemongrass. Now, lemongrass, I believe, was free in the LRP program this month. And I love lemongrass. It makes me feel like I'm in an Aveda salon. It's just really great experience. But again, it's another one that I don't actually use all the time. It just is such a fresh scent, and it can be used all three ways: aromatic, topical, and internal. It's really supportive for your digestive system. It's really great for a soothing massage. I think it's very similar to deep blue in that way. In fact, we kind of call it poor man's deep blue because lemongrass is very, very affordable. It's like $10 when you have the discount with doTERRA. And so it's really affordable, but it's really, really great for massage and for soothing any kind of pains and things like that. It's also really good for cooking. So if you like Thai food, you know, lemongrass will be a really, really fun one to use in your cooking. And it's really good for skin, purifying and toning for the skin again, as well as your natural insect repellent. Now, I have a story surrounding lemongrass. When I was very new to essential oils, I'd probably been using them just maybe not even a year. And I had 2 little babies, and I went out for a run with them in the stroller. And I had my Aroma Ace diffuser going with lemongrass in there. And on the Aroma Ace, it's on a timer. So it goes for like 3 minutes, and then it's off for like 15 minutes. And so I went off for my run, and I came back, and I opened the door, the back door, and as I was getting the babies in, you know, out of car seats, out of, you know, the stroller, things like that, and I walked in the house, and I noticed that the whole kitchen area was filled with bees. And I was terrified. I had these 2 children, and they were like kind of frantic bees at this point. And I was so scared. They must have just flown in as I had the back door open. And so I closed the back door, and I just stayed outside with the girls trying to think what in the world I was going to do to be able to get us in the house with all these bees in there. And so I waited like 5 minutes, and then I walked back in, and I noticed that all the bees were dead. They were dead on the floor and on my windowsill. And like some of them were just kind of, you know, buzzing a little bit. But I couldn't figure out what in the world had made these bees just die. And it was the lemongrass. I had been diffusing it, and the Aroma Ace is super potent. It's like pure oil into the air, okay? And it just, you know, it was just an interesting experience to say the least with lemongrass. So it's also really supportive for proper levels of cholesterol and proper blood pressure. Okay, so just helping those things be in their proper function. Also, thyroid, proper thyroid function really supports that. So if you're wanting to just really support that system in the body, I recommend you using lemongrass for that, as well as for the bladder and the kidneys. So all of those things work together for those. Patchouli. Now, patchouli has a long history in the perfume industry, right? It is used heavily in the perfume industry, and it became famous from the 1960s hippie movement. I can always date people when they come up to me and they like smell oils on me, and they're like, oh, are you wearing patchouli? Like, I just laugh. It's really funny. But patchouli is a great oil. It's known as a beautifying oil for the hair and the skin. I use it every day in my skincare, every day. It has a really pretty fragrance, but it's also a very grounding fragrance, okay? So it can help promote a smooth, healthy complexion, helps reduce the appearance of blemishes, wrinkles, and other skin imperfections, and provides a balancing effect on the emotions. So also, it's really good for dry skin. And you can actually, it can be really helpful for people that kind of occasionally deal with dandruff or flaky scalp. You can just put a drop in your shampoo your head. Really good for and helpful for oily hair, actually, in particular. But it's also soothing for the nerves. So think about shampooing your hair and having that soothe all the nerves, because you're up there by your neck and your head. It's a very relaxing and grounding experience. You can use it as a deodorant, as well as also a bug repellent specifically for mosquitoes. So that is a little bit about some unknown things about patchouli. Then we have vetiver. Now, when you look at the vetiver plant, it is a root. Okay, so it smells kind of like dirt. It's very, very grounding, very, very rooted. Okay, and when you look at this picture of the vetiver, it has all these little tiny parts of the root, and they all kind of intertwine. And so because of the doctrine of signatures, we can see how this plant kind of resembles the brain, right? With all the different pathways and all the different little things that work together. And so vetiver is very, very beneficial for our brains and how we think and how we can focus. You ever call what we call an ADD moment, right? Where your brain, you just cannot focus on anything. Vetiver can be our friend in this instance, okay? Can really help bring our brain together, helping us to have hyper-focused ability, okay? Now, in Ayurvedic medicine, it is known as the oil of tranquility. So it's very, very calming, calming, calming. This is one of the first ones I go to when I have a child that is just bouncing off the walls or is having extreme temper tantrums or anything like that, because it is so incredibly calming. Especially on just stress days, promotes a really good restful sleep. So if you're one of those people that is a little hyperactive naturally, and you need a good rest, I recommend trying vetiver. I would try a little bit first. It is very thick oil, so you can turn the oil bottle over and wait a few minutes for it actually to drip out of the bottle, because has a very, very thick consistency. Now, when you take vetiver internally, it can actually support a healthy immune system. I didn't know that before, but that would be a really beneficial one to add to your immune system protocol, right? Boosting those things. It can also help, going kind of back to the brain, it can also help with your retention of information. So it really helps you in your learning. And so beneficial for our children, especially when they come home from school or they're preparing for a test, or college students, when you're really having to retain a lot of information. I could have used a little vetiver when I was in anatomy and physiology class in college. That would have been helpful. Also really helpful for feelings of depression and anxiety. Great to combine vetiver with Melissa for this. That would be a really powerful combination. And just feelings of irritability, and maybe you just can't go to sleep. So vetiver is definitely a rich, powerful oil. Then we have petitgreen. Now petitgreen was part of the doTERRA BOGO that we had not too long ago in February. And I actually hated the smell of petitgreen. And I never use it. And then the BOGO happened and I had to learn all about it. And now I love it. I'm like craving it all the time. So it's very fresh, floral aroma. It makes really good use of a topical application, but it also holds a lot of benefits for the body when taken actually internally. So it can provide a healthy cardiovascular, immune, and digestive function, help promote restful sleep. And it's also sourced from growers in Paraguay through the doTERRA Co-Impact Sourcing Initiative. So that is knowing that when you purchase petitgreen, that you're really helping to support these people in Paraguay in a huge, huge way. So, promotes a healthy cardiovascular, immune, and digestive system. I recommend placing like 1 or 2 drops in a glass of water or juice, and you can just drink it. It's really helpful. And it's very calming. It calms tension, especially it's very calming for the nervous system. So petitgrain is like the male version of lavender, right? They kind of go hand in hand. They smell very different to me. But I'm learning so much more about how to use the petitgrain. Really good for a good night's sleep. Like I said earlier, one of my favorite blends lately for a night is petitgrain, lavender, ylang ylang, wild orange, and juniper berry. I know that's a lot of oils, but I do like 1 or 2 drops of each. And I'm just really loving that combination. I end up like looking forward to going to bed and putting that in my diffuser. Let's see, some other, it's very, very good for oily hair. So I was just trying to think of ways to use petitgrain. And my hair is very, very long. And so I don't wash it every day. And no, that's not gross. You're actually not supposed to wash your hair every day. And so I used it in my shampoo. I put 2 drops in my shampoo and washed my hair. My hair was amazing. It felt amazing. It was shiny and glossy. I loved it. So tonight or tomorrow, go get your petitgrain and put 2 drops in your shampoo. You'll love it. And you know what? My hair, it never got oily. I mean, it was like days. I traveled and I last week for spring break, and life was just really going crazy, and I didn't have time to actually wash my hair for a few days, and it stayed really, really fresh and nice, and I was really excited about that. So it's also really good for dry, cracked, and maybe acne-prone, blemish-prone skin. That can be something you can add to your skincare routine. And it's really good for emotions of fear, anxiousness, maybe anxious thinking, sudden anger, shock, or hysteria. So it is definitely a really fun, great oil. Then we have spikenard. Now my husband was just popped on Instagram a second ago, and he loves spikenard. It's like his favorite oil. It is not my favorite oil, but it has amazing, amazing properties. Okay, it smells like poop, but it is a great oil. And you know what? When you combine it with other oils, it really isn't that bad. It really, with other oils, it makes this beautiful synergy, and then I can handle it. But when it first came out at convention, David, it's very good for the skin. So David he shaved, and then he put it on his skin after he got his routine done. And I was changing a diaper in the other room because we had our son with us. And I walked out, and I have Everett, and I'm like, oh my gosh, does Everett have a poopy diaper? Like, where is the poop? And I'm looking at his diaper. There's nothing there. I'm looking around the room like, oh my gosh, we cannot leave this hotel room with like poop somewhere. And, David's like, oh yeah, I smell it too. We're just looking around the room. And then he was like, oh, I think it's me. I was like, oh, great. We're going to be around thousands of people and you smell like poop. That's just going to be awesome. But no, it really is a really, really fantastic oil. It's featured in the Bible many, many times, so it's a biblical oil. It has purifying properties to promote clear, clean, healthy skin, can be very uplifting for your mood while promoting feelings of calmness and relaxation. It's very much a meditation oil. And it also is one of our co-impact sourcing oils. So this is sourced out of Nepal. And Nepal is a beautiful place. And we source a few oils from there, and it's great. So when you're using and purchasing spikenard, you're really helping the farmers in Nepal in a big way. So it is so helpful to be diffused actually with lavender and vetiver. It is very grounding, so that would be a really grounding one. But one of my favorite things to do with spikenard is to put it in the diffuser with, I think it's spikenard, wild orange, and lavender. Actually, I really like putting in a little bit of citrus in there. It really takes, the poop smell out. But we love it. Actually, it is a great oil. It has great properties. Really good for if you're dealing with some problematic skin, maybe some sporadic rashes, things like that. Maybe some things that nothing else is really helping with. I really recommend you trying spikenard for that. Can be very powerful. And then we have neroli. Now, neroli comes in a touch roller and it's already diluted. It is beautiful. It's lovely. The first time I smelled it, it's very citrusy to me. It takes 1 ton of blossoms for 1 kilogram of neroli oil, okay? So, and it has the same properties undiluted as diluted. It's one of those oils that even with dilution, it's still super, super powerful and just beautiful. So it's really used for positive mood, promoting a really happy, positive mood, relieving feelings of anxiousness, encourages relaxation. I actually carry neroli in my purse and I love it. I mix it with jasmine and rose and magnolia. Those have been my favorite lately. I just kind of take them out of my purse and I roll them all on one after the other. And I love how they smell together. It's just absolutely just beautiful. It's also very good for the skin. Okay. So all of the flower oils are actually really, really helpful for the skin. So I recommend alternating them. So maybe one day do neroli, another day do rose, another day do jasmine, and kind of alternate them. And that really helps just rejuvenate, gives your skin all the properties of what those oils can really do for you. So another thing that neroli really helps with that many people don't mention, but get ready, I'm going to mention it. It promotes sexual arousal. That's right, I said it. You can apply it to the area of concern, or you can just inhale it. But it is good for that. It's good for chronic feelings of stress. You know, you really can't enjoy being intimate if you're stressed, so those go hand in hand. So really just helping you to relax. It's also a great oil to be used actually during childbirth because of its calming properties. It really helps to ease anxiety, and it is one of those oils that, like the clary sage, promotes the proper levels of estrogen in the body. Really, really important. Supports menstrual cycles, and emotionally, it really helps with overthinking, overwhelm, confusion, and distressed thinking. So if you're in distressed, go for your neroli. Last oil for tonight is blue tansy. Blue tansy, it really is blue. It's kind of a fantastic oil. And you know, we only ever used it before in our deep blue blend. It was one of the very powerful oils that we use in that blend. And one of the reasons why deep blue is blue is because of the chamazoline in the blue tansy that makes it that blue. So there was a article in Vogue magazine, I think, like a year or two ago, promoting and saying how awesome blue tansy is for your skin and the beauty of your skin. And so that's definitely one that I recommend for your skincare routine. So it's very, very soothing, and it's also very uplifting for the mood when used aromatically. Okay, it provides the skin with a soothing sensation.
Water.
Oh,
my drink of water.
You lost your drink of water?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's my almost 3-year-old son. Okay, we'll go to the kitchen and get it. Okay, thanks. Single parenting for until tomorrow, and then David will be home and I will be grateful. So anyways, blue tansy, why it's in deep blue is because it has a very soothing sensation, can really help with easing pain. Okay, also really helpful for itching, watery eyes, any kind of rashes or sneezing. If you're dealing with those kinds of things, it can be really, really helpful for that. Supporting the body also through fungal issues. A few of the other oils we mentioned before can do that, as well as respiratory support. Now, try this the next time you have hiccups, okay, with blue tansy. Combine blue tansy with peppermint and eucalyptus and put it on your chest and see what that does if you've got hiccups that just won't go away. Also really helpful for headaches, maybe toothaches. You can apply it on the outside of the jaw. It is just great. A great diffuser blend using blue tansy would be blue tansy, clary sage, geranium, lavender, spearmint, or ylang ylang. Really good combination with all of those oils, okay? So those are all the oils that I have on the list tonight. So I hope that that was fun and informative for you. And now we'll take some questions if we have them. All right. There we go. There's everybody. Oh, you missed the hiccups recipe? Yvette, it is, oh, it's just not clary sage, forgive me. It's blue tansy and peppermint and eucalyptus. I'd probably like do 1 or 2 drops of each and just rub it on the chest. Yeah. Anything else missed that I need to go over? Sounds like we are good to go. This was fun. I really like diving into these oils. And you know, finding out their properties, and now I'm excited to go and use these more. Tammy, you have something? You want to unmute? There.
Okay. I just need a sunscreen recipe.
So that, back in my notes here. Is that helichrysum? Oh, arbor vitae. Yes. So it's lavender and helichrysum and arbor vitae. And I would imagine just get like a jar of like the real coconut oil that solidifies, liquefy it, put in your essential oils, mix it around, and then let it solidify. And that way, when you want to use it, you can just whip it out, put your fingers in there, and you can just apply it to the skin. I would imagine it'd be a really great just skin moisturizer. Yeah. You mentioned co-impact sourcing for 2 of the oils. Where would I find this info on some of the other oils? For some reason, I was thinking this oils were co-impact. Many of them are. So you'll go to Source to You. It is a fantastic website. That is the one where you're going to want to go and look up. That shows you all the growers, shows you where all the oils are sourced. Also has information on all the testing. It's a great place to go. So if you haven't been there yet, go to source2you.com. Yeah. Anything else? Good to go? I want to do a part 2 soon and go over. I was looking in there and I thought we need to talk about coriander, and we need to talk about basil, and we need to talk about marjoram. Like there's some oils we need to talk about. So that will be part 2. So stay tuned. All right, good night, everyone. Thank you so much for hopping on. See you.